Alright, I was just going to make a quick capture video, but didn't work out. YouTube's not recognizing my camera for whatever reason. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So just the standard flagged again bullshit. So I'll just post videos on the website again. I'll go back to the old website, Do Not God, and so yeah, that's where the videos will be, and I'll post a weekly update style video, or whenever, every 7 or 10 videos or so, and just do an update video pointing to those videos, and that's what I'll do. So it's just kind of a pain in the ass, and I gotta find another domain space, hosting company, blah blah. But for now, this is the way it'll go. So yeah, the comment video was flagged. Comment videos are always dangerous. I've had one of those, I got a strike on one of those in the past. So anyway, what else? Yeah, no, that's about it. Yeah, I did see What's His Face did another video, so maybe I'll do a response to that on the website. But on the smoking subject, there was one. I might as well do this. I won't have to save this page for later. So I had said that cigarette taxes were, the lottery and cigarette taxes were the highest taxes in New Jersey. And, I'm going based on what I, remember when 10 years ago I was doing the lawsuit and everything. So I must have said, have meant, besides income taxes and sales taxes, the lottery and cigarettes were the two highest, okay? But this says the corporate tax at, 2.5, which is 26% higher. So this was much lower 7 years ago. The corporate taxes are the ones they've increased the most in the last couple of years. So that's the reason why that's up there. The lottery is number 4, so the lottery should be number 3, and that would be the first beyond sales taxes and income taxes. And the sales tax was also increased by 1%, but obviously that's irrelevant. But here's the catch, right? Here's the game they played. Here's the cigarette tax way down here. And it actually should be number 4. But what they've done is they're not counting the full amount, because it's a rack. This is part of the racket. See, this is the only column that are zeroed out. They're all zeroed out. And it's because so they have down here 271 million. The actual number is 750 million. So 750 would put it up above inheritance, and so it would be right below the lottery as the in this chart, the 4th and 5th. But like I said, corporate taxes were much lower when I did this a few years ago. So here's the catch. Here's what they did. See, it says it all down here, asterisk. The first 396.5 million in cigarette tax collections are deposited into the healthcare subsidy fund. All that means is that they're just using the cigarette taxes to pay everybody else's Medicare expenses. Additional amounts estimated to about 145 million are deducted to pay tobacco bond debt service. So you know what they did? They sold the future tax revenue collection in a bulk amount. So they got basically an annuity on future taxes. So to balance the budget a few years ago, they basically went to a bank and said, will you give us $5 billion if we give you the revenue from cigarette taxes in the future? So they basically sold future taxation on cigarette smokers to balance the budget. I mean, that's how slimy this whole fucking thing is. And so here they took out $620 million of the tax. No, 500. Yeah, these two numbers, 390 plus 145. So let's just round this off to 400. So that's 540. So $540 million worth of the tax they didn't show on here. So you add 540 to this number, and you end up with something over almost $800 million. So $800 million will put it right below the lottery as the 4th and 5th. And like I said, back then it was the 3rd and 4th. So yeah, I apologize for misstating it as the first two. Obviously the exclusion was next to income taxes and sales taxes. Cigarette taxes and the lottery are the two highest sources of revenue. But anyway, another page I looked up was how much the production cost for cigarettes in 1980. Well, currently the production cost is still dirt cheap. $2 a carton is what this site basically comes to. It's a Canadian site. $1.15 per carton. That's the production cost without profit. With profit, obviously, it would go up to like $3. Good profit. But the 1986 figures were, for 1,000 cigarettes, the production cost was $10. So that's 5 cartons. The production cost was $10, which means $2 a carton. So, yeah, obviously the price of 75 cents would be very competitive, per pack. So there's some guy in the comments that was just griping about the fact that we don't know the production cost of cigarettes. Yeah, we do know the production cost. We can get there. So these two different websites. This one says between $1.15 and $2. The other site is pretty much the same number when you add it all up. So they're pretty consistent numbers. So yeah, fuck you. Yeah, and so when I said 800%, I'm just basically saying if the price of a pack of cigarettes should be 75 cents without any taxes, obviously to get to $7 for a pack of cigarettes, you would just figure that if the 100% tax would be 75 cents, right? So a 200% tax would be $1.50, and a 300% tax would be, you can do that kind of math, right? So obviously that's where the the 800% number came from. I don't care. You can just make any relative comparisons you want to make. I'm just saying it doesn't really matter what the actual numbers are. I really don't. I think you understand. Alcohol excise is down here. Cigarettes are the 5th, source. Obviously, a lot more people drink than smoke. So these, obviously alcohol is a lot more expensive per volume. So obviously they're collecting an awful lot of taxes on cigarettes. And this also, also realize that part of this sales tax figure up here, this part of this giant sales tax number, is a huge amount of sales tax they're collecting on each carton of cigarettes. If if a carton of cigarettes is selling for almost $60, right, at 6%, you're talking what? Well, somebody figured it out, but it's a lot, 7%. Sales tax. So, this isn't a little bit of money. So a big piece, a little piece of this, at least a little piece of it, is, a couple $100 million anyway, maybe, is just on cigarette taxes. It's a sales tax on cigarette taxes, which is fundamentally, in my opinion, criminal. You should never tax taxes. Taxing taxes is disgusting. But anyway, so enough of that. So anyway, videos on the Do Not God website until whatever. Who cares? Whatever. I just can't afford another strike. So I'm gonna have to go away for a while until things. Because at any minute another one of the videos could get flagged, and then I'm fucked. So I have to not give anybody an opportunity to do that on any new videos. Pretty much. It's my only choice, I think. So anyway. Yeah, see you later. Such.